Each one of us can give justice to our college degrees when we create, we think. And yes, we too are knowledge workers as a vocation. Hence, we mathematicians cultivate endurance. And a big part of this endurance came from failures. I speak from experience. I am a product of a troubled marriage. I was rejected by Accenture leaders. I was not part of that tribe. But these rejections built up my character. I discovered charity. After I had savings from my BPO experience in Cebu, and after my professional education in Lingo 24, I am finding joy in self-directed math learning because of curiosity, and I am a recipient of charity from parents and brother in my passion for mathematics, and found the joy of helping the poor and marginalized. This brings me to the call towards the virtue of charity in churches. This brings me to the discovery of missed roles of being a nun, where Christ is the bridegroom, and education apostolate beneficiaries are spiritual children. I have endured from my marital failure and discovered my love for Christ, for the church, and charity. Now, in terms of responsibility in statistical interpretation, my observation here is the challenge of acquiring population data here in the Philippines, which is a big bottleneck of PSC because of lack of funding. We're truly relying on non-probability studies and convenience sampling. We can interpret the data of our study, but we just cannot easily generalize. Hence, our studies can be repeated. In order to justify the trend and validity of our non-generalized results, we are just poor nation. We lack rationalists. We do not have a math culture. We might have a college degree for compliance rather than competence. Again, this is because we are a poor nation. And yes, run like hell by Filipinos. At least we are not being run by Americans. Are we? Are you being run by Americans? Let's face it. As a poor developing nation, we're experiencing a big money trap. When the Americans decline, are we allowing ourselves to decline with them? This is just a philosophical thought and an opinion. And yes, when these kinds of discussions are no longer meaningful because you are not a politician as a strong archetype, you're always welcome in mathematics, where there is integrity in proof and argumentation. In math, it is not a popularity contest. It is either you got it wrong or right. Here's another observation. With the threat of AI, geopolitics, and the compliance culture in our educational system, where meritocracy is not being practiced in the government, and we truly have a whom you know system, how would you position yourself? What archetype are you strongly inclined to? Mathematicians as gatekeepers. As a mathematician, I truly identify myself as an auditor, and I truly report what I see in the field, but we are not politicians. We cannot influence society, and true enough, cultivating oneself in the pursuits of mathematics is enough. There are many math lessons waiting for us to teach online in mother tongue perhaps. This is, by the way, one of my plans as an aspiring knowledge worker for mathematics. Our data, though, and honest audit reporting can help shape the decisions and laws of our government. After I published my action research online in YouTube, which highlights the need of community tutors, the adult program was passed and implemented. Having said so, being a tutor for the adult program is already an honest vocation, and we have Our Lady of Divine Providence to feed us. True enough, unemployment is very high because of geopolitical threats like pandemics and wars. But always remember that this unemployment problem is not only happening in our country. Corruption is not only happening in our country. We just need to be mathematically creative enough to discover the open areas and necessities and invent ideas from there. Let us all be inspired by the marvelous episodes of St. Paul in the New Testament, where he wrote when he was a prisoner. So our data and honest observations are important for public policy, for the lives, most especially in the threats of AI, and banks who gain from wars. Somehow, no matter how difficult, our observations, inferences, and data analysis should be published without any conflict of interest, as this is the ethics of representation and inference. Another observation, we need to encourage nursing and medical students to take up STEM Med because we need to be part of the advances of epidemiology, like the advances of medicine creation and medical equipment advances on top of the medical practices. Let us always be reminded that the doctors of the ancient past were mathematicians and Nightingale was a statistician. Please feel free to discover history of mathematics and medicine and appreciate this theme, the Islamic Golden Age and the integration of mathematical sciences into medicine. Let's face it, our country is just poor, and we are being deprived to enjoy the ideal essence of mathematics as a gatekeeper. What can we do? Why still do math? Why not take it away from our curriculum? We just want to think outside the realms of societal norms and issues. We love mathematics as narrative of patterns. We love problem solving as moral imagination. We mathematicians are just so creative in our reasoning, in our sense of moral responsibility. You might not agree with me, and all I just want to request is to know oneself. After all, mathematics is just an art, and as philosophy, a framework of reasoning and a tool for neuroplasticity. Here are some of the questions for reflection that will be part of our live Socratic discussion, so let me read it for you. When has mathematics humbled you? When has statistics made you morally uncomfortable? How do you see your future role in society? As a math artist with savings, I'm planning to study all of the PRC maths, and after that I can work abroad as domestic helper and tutor. I can study housekeeping in TESDA, and yet hopefully my children and husband can adopt me and let me serve them as a mom and wife. It is not easy to be a mathematician and statistician these days. We can serve the BPO companies because we are truly US dependent. And yet, when God calls you to be an educator, writer, and knowledge worker, all of you will always be part of the global math citizenship. The world and the future is uncertain, but we are built to be part of the solution, not of the problem. With God's help, grace, and divine providence, He will make a way to transcend and liberate you into a free, full human being. Let me end these video lessons with these final thoughts. Mathematics is disciplined love for truth. It forms the mind and shapes the soul. To study mathematics is to prepare for service to humanity. So thank you so much for listening. And thank you for allowing me to be of service to all of you.